It's a new day, and welcome back, everyone, to Switchpoint. We're back this week with episode 21 of our Nintendo focused podcast series. Today, I'm joined with Saras, and it's time to overview the Super Mario Galaxy movie trailer. Almost forgot the name there. The partner showcase, overview what we got, and also talk about the possibility of a potential third direct this month outside of the partner showcase and Pokemon Presents. But let's kick it off with the Mario Galaxy movie. We've gotten a couple new ads, and Saras, what are we thinking about that awesome new animation that we've gotten?
Oh my god, it looks unbelievably good. I mean, you can really tell how much they have taken the lessons they learned from the first one and ran with it. The main one we got was there was a new TV spot, I believe, on Saturday, before the Super Bowl. This was not the Super Bowl spot. I thought it was, but no, they had a smaller one during the actual event. Um, and it looked amazing, and it showed off. We got Bowser Jr., we got Rosalina, we got Yoshi, some new galaxies, and some interesting newer stuff that we'll talk about. But yeah, animation wise, it looks gorgeous. Like it just looks so much better, and I would argue, at least from what we're seeing, this is looking to be one of the arguably best looking pure 3D animated films we've gotten ever, I think, because I'm not counting Spider-Verse because that is 3D styled to look like 2D. Same with like K-pop Demon Hunters and those kind of films that really like go with a stylized look. Those are meant to kind of um, look like hand drawn, even though they're not. This is pure 3D animation, and it looks amazing. What do you think? I imagine you're in the same boat as me.
Oh, I'm stoked, man. I mean, it's one of those things where, I will say, I think the Mario movie, I guess I didn't realize how much people don't like it. I liked the movie when it came out. I thought it was a fun watch. It was like, man, you could tell the soul and the spirit of Miyamoto and the teams at Nintendo was in that movie. It was enjoyable. But I guess I didn't realize, obviously, right? I had problems with the movie before getting into this, like, the licensed tracks, this and that. But people online like hate this movie. You would think that, right? Like everyone on social media just trashes this movie. And so I've been seeing a lot of people react to the Galaxy movie, and people are really excited about it. I think it looks phenomenal. I love that we don't really know what's going to happen in the movie yet. Like we've seen, okay, we're going to different galaxies. We know Bowser Jr. is trying to rescue Bowser, but beyond that, we don't really know anything. And I kind of like that. I want to go in blind. I want to be surprised. We've seen no fights. No, I feel like the first Mario movie, they had something to say. They had a statement to put out. We saw Rainbow Road. We saw all this stuff. We haven't really seen much in the trailers for this one. We've seen Yoshi, but besides that, like, I feel like most things are left unspoiled for the most part, besides like Fossil Falls.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, on that note about the first Mario movie, it is interesting seeing how people really lay into it. I've noticed a lot of comparisons to the Sonic the Hedgehog films specifically, because I guess, makes sense, similar mascots, all that sort of thing. But I'm sorry, Sonic fans, I know you're going to attack me in the comments, and I probably deserve it, but in this case, I don't think that comparison is very fair. Because people are specifically, when I see people say, oh, the Mario movie has nothing on the Sonic film, they're comparing the third Sonic movie specifically, and they're comparing it to that one fight at the end of the film, and it looks great. Don't get me wrong. I was freaking out in the theater when we saw Sonic and Shadow fighting, um, but you're comparing the third film in a series to the first film in a series. Nintendo hadn't really figured it out. It was a statement. It was a proof of concept, so to speak, as you said. And now that they're a bit more confident, now that they can really go ambitious with it, they're going to go more ambitious with it. And we see that a lot in the visuals. And it is interesting how we really don't know much about the story. Initially, I thought that there was going to be some secret villain besides Bowser Jr., but no, Bowser Jr. looks to be the big bad. I don't think there's going to be, I mean, maybe there is some team up between Bowser Jr. and Bowser at the end of the film, but Bowser Jr. looks menacing, which is something I never thought I would say ever. The line in the trailer of "the great battle of my life is here," um, is like the people I saw people complaining about Bowser Jr.'s eyes when the first trailer came out. I could not disagree more. I think he looks design wise perfect. I loved his eyes almost look bloodshot. Like they look like completely unhinged. Um, Instead of the toddler, basic like Bowser Jr. in the other games is a kid basically, and you get more of that in Bowser's Fury. But here he is a teenager, and he's a very angry teenager, and yeah, they're keeping a lot close to their chest. They only are showing that one specific sequence with Rosalina where Mega Leg attacks her. We've not seen anything else from her. They're only showing that part, which makes me really curious to see the role she plays in this film. Like I imagine she's going to play a huge role, but they're keeping that secret, which is cool. Um, but there's a lot of smaller details in this trailer, which I'm curious. What were some details that stood out to you when you saw the TV spot?
I mean, I just think like it's the little things, and I found this in the first movie too. But whenever you had Baby Mario and Baby Luigi go up to the dinosaur's teeth and play the Mario Bros. Theme, it's just little stuff like that. It really ties this movie together for me of just being a celebration of the series as a whole. I love, obviously, we talked about it last episode, Yoshi with the little SNES blaster. I love Yoshi's been really funny in all the trailers. I'm really curious to see kind of what Yoshi ends up doing. I'm glad that Yoshi isn't talking. I agree with Rosalina. You know, it seems like she's going to be a very prominent character in the movie. And it kind of seems like Princess Peach and Toad are kind of going on their own side quest, right? Like it seems like they're doing their own thing. And Mario and Luigi are doing something else on a different galaxy. So I'm curious how everything's going to come together. And then I agree completely with Bowser Jr. Like he seems menacing, and I appreciate that. He seems like he's got something to prove, and I think that that's a going to be a fun character to watch. And I'm just really curious what surprises we might have in store. You know, are we going to see potentially a tease at the end for Luigi's Mansion? Are we going to see, hints of Waluigi or Wario in the movie? I mean, we haven't even seen Donkey Kong yet, right?
No, we haven't, and that's been rumored for a while that we're gonna get a Donkey Kong film. But yeah, I mean, there's so much they could do with this movie, and I will say some of the details I noticed. I am, as you kind of said, like it's curious to see the different characters splitting up. Mario and Luigi and Yoshi are on their own adventure, and Peach and Toad are on their own adventure. But makes me wonder who's gonna meet Rosalina, because that Rosalina scene with Megaleg seems kind of random. Like it seems kind of isolated from what we've seen of the rest of the film. Um, so I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting. Like we in the very first direct where Rosalina is telling the story of the Mario Brothers, I think that opens the film. I think that is a recap of the last film from Rosalina's perspective. But
Oh yeah, I agree completely. And kind of set up her character.
yeah,
Maybe even have right after the Star Festival, maybe Mario goes to meet Rosalina with Luigi or something, or
yeah,
Mario and Peach or something like that.
yeah. I almost wonder if the fight between Rosalina and Megaleg is the cold open, right? I wonder if it's Rosalina telling the story of the Mario Brothers um, to the Lumas, and then she comes out and sees Megaleg there and has to fight him, and that sets up the rest of the story. We'll have to see. I think the one detail that's really been bugging me is the city that Peach and Toad are visiting, because there are a ton of smaller details in that. There's the Nintendo 64 logo in the distance. There's like a weird speakeasy with all the bad guys. If you look very carefully near that Nintendo 64 logo, there's actually the Mario Party dice in the corner. Um, but I've been wondering, what exactly is this city? Because As far as I know, this is not something that exists in the end of the game. I've seen some people speculate that it's Neo Bowser City or something, but it looks really elaborate for something that is a Mario Kart world potentially. I I wonder if this is a sign of things to come. We've discussed this on our own time, but we've had a theory that this is potentially like a world that we might see in a future Mario game, which would be crazy. And it would track with patterns they've had before, such as with the first Mario movie. They had the new Donkey Kong Bonanza design in advance, and that was the design used for Donkey Kong in that film, rather than the other way around. Um, so yeah, I don't know. What's your take on the mysterious cyberpunk city that we're seeing?
I don't know. I mean, I like that they have like a holographic N64 logo going on there. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool. I'm really curious. I know that, like you said, we've talked about it being something appearing in a future game. I don't know. It's one of those things that it might just be kind of a movie thing that they're like, we really want to do this in a movie. It would be really cool. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here, and I don't unfortunately think that we're going to be able to kind of predict what's going on until we see the movie and do a spoiler cast, right? It's like there's a lot that could be. It could be something from a future movie. It could be something that has no relation at all to that. And so it's going to be pretty interesting to kind of see what ends up happening there, I think.
yeah, completely agree. But I'm still really excited for the film. I think it's gonna be a great time. I going into the first one, I had pretty small expectations for it because of the voice cast, and it's an Illumination film, and those are always kind of cheesy. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Um, but here, my expectations are going to be a little bit higher because Illumination now knows how to approach things, and judging by the animation quality of this compared to, say, the recently announced Minions 3, which I cannot believe they're making more of those movies, um, it's night and day. They are really devoted to making this movie look as good as possible, even at the expense of their own IPs, which is insane. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to see Rosalina and Bowser Jr. I think obviously Brie Larson's gonna do great, and Benny Safdie. He's always been a really interesting actor. He's been more known as a director than an actor, but I think he's gonna deliver. I think he's gonna probably steal the show with his performance.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think it's one of those things where we might see a really, really fun film. And I want to make a comment about the Minions, why did they make another one? Because those they make $1 billion every movie, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy. I don't know how they keep doing it. People just keep going to watch that stuff. But nah, that aside, I'm really curious to see kind of how things shake out. I do think that it's going to be a really fun movie, and I'm really excited to see it. I mean, it's crazy. We're only what, like just under 2 months away at this point, which is kind of unbelievable. So that's exciting. But I do think that there is something obviously that happened this week that we can dive into that is concrete, and that would be the partner showcase. So before we kick this off, I want to give ourselves a pat on the back because we did a pretty dang good job of predicting this showcase. Now, we definitely had some predictions of, Resident Evil 2 through 4, or maybe Konami presence, and we did get Konami presence, not in the way we thought we would. But I do think that we did a pretty dang good job of predicting this sucker.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I was literally thinking that as you were watching the show, as was we got a lot right. Obviously, we had a lot of very far fetched picks, but compared to a lot of the other um, leakers out there that had Claire Obscure Expedition 33 as a potential thing, or something new crazy from Sega. We kept it
New
pretty
Sonic game,
a new
new Kingdom
Sonic
Hearts
game.
remake.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah, we
no.
we
No.
we kept it very realistic, and because of that, we were right. I mean, there were a few games that I was bummed we didn't get more of, or we didn't see. I'm still I'm still waiting for a few more Microsoft games down the line. We mostly just got Bethesda stuff, as we'll get into. And man, I really want to know what's going on with Hi-Fi Rush. I feel like that should have been on the console years ago, and obviously because of the whole Craft On situation, um, it's been taking time. But yeah, I hope we get news on that soon. But before we move into the actual meat of the showcase, I want to talk a bit about the reception to the showcase because it has been unbelievable. I've seen a few people throwing around that this is the worst or one of the worst Nintendo Directs ever. And to that I said, do you guys not remember the Wii U era? I mean, we had Amiibos Festival, Metroid Prime Federation Force, Codename Steam, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, all back to back, and these were not good games. I am more than okay with an increased emphasis on third party, um, because Nintendo, we've talked about this before, but this is the best third party Nintendo has gotten ever. And they really want to push it. And I can't blame them because the reveals we got, despite being potentially disappointing, are big games that I'm really excited to see on the console. I'm curious to hear your opinion of this because it's I think obviously this is not a perfect direct, far from it. There were a lot of parts where I'm like, oh gosh, this is we're wasting time here, but I do not think it was that bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really think that the direct was pretty dang good overall. I was, I think part of it is that we were expecting this to be things that we already knew. And I think people also get in their heads. Like when you see things that are leaked and you know about them, that reveal naturally isn't going to be as surprising. I mean, if we look at this overall, Oblivion remastered in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like getting brand new announced for the console, is fantastic. That is two ginormous third party games. I mean, Rebirth, right? Should have been game of the year. Screw Astrobot. I don't care. Fight me to the death on that. You're getting the
No.
2024 game of the year on the console, and it looks incredible. And it's like no one's excited for it. They're like, oh, it's Rebirth. It's like, no, that was a great showcase. I get it that this might not have been the, oh my God, the super crazy things that we weren't expecting, but this was a great showcase. Like, I genuinely believe it. It once again solidifies the fact that this third party lineup on the Switch 2 is insane and it is far ahead of any Nintendo console ever at this point. And I continue to believe that this is going to be the best third party lineup any Nintendo console has ever gotten. I truly believe that. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what continues to go on. But in terms of what this direct needed to be for February to get the third party games set for the next few months and a little bit of early summer, it did everything it needed to and more.
Agreed. Completely agree. I mean, I got everything I could have wanted from this direct. Personally, I was very pleased with certain games that were shown and new updates that were given. And I think it's all about expectations because the problem with leaks is that sometimes they put false expectations in your head. I've seen this a lot where people will see a leak and be like, man, nothing's a surprise anymore. Oh gosh. And then when the direct happens and that leak isn't there, they get disappointed as if there was an expectation because there was. People think leaks are gospel. They're not. We need to get out of that habit of thinking that every report that ever comes out is accurate. They may be accurate eventually, but they're not accurate now. And I stopped listening to insiders and reports and rumors a long time ago. I just like to enjoy it as it is. And with that mindset, I had a great time with this direct. And there were a lot of games that I'm personally really looking forward to that were shown off. Even if there were some that I'm like, why are we paying attention to this? Um,
Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, let's kick it off from the top. I mean, so we're
sure.
not going to go in order of the showcase. That's,
No.
I'm not going to say it's lame, but it's lame, right? We want to go and do this in an order that we want to talk about. So I think let's kick it off with the end reveal. Good old Todd showed up because of course he did. And we got the triple whammy of Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Indiana Jones, and Oblivion Remastered. So Fallout 4 coming to the console, Great, awesome. Honestly, not gonna lie, I need to see it myself because the trailer looked not exactly what I was expecting on the Switch 2 for a game so old, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Fallout 4 is a tricky game. Um, it's definitely it's not the black sheep of the Fallout games, but compared to 3 and New Vegas, obviously it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's not as good. It's not as fun. The colony building aspect is not good, um, and the characters are not written as well. But it's still fun, and I still enjoyed it. And the fact that we're getting the Creator Club on portable is good, which I believe it's on portable. I believe they're putting that on the Switch too. Um, and yeah, in terms of visuals, I don't know. I If they can't get that running well on the Switch 2, that is unbelievable to me. That is a over 10-year-old game at this point, and there is no excuse for that to not run well on the console. Um, but I'm excited to try it out. I'm excited to have it on handheld. Maybe I'll enjoy it more than I did the first time I played it.
Yeah.
Um, did you play Fallout 4?
Oh, I did, and my character looked like an abomination.
Oh, did you
So
do
that
the
was a.
meters all the way to the right thing?
I don't honestly remember exactly what I did. I just can tell you that like I tried to make this dumbest looking character I could, and that's what I did.
Awesome.
Um, but no, I mean Fallout 4, it's a huge RPG. Never been on a Nintendo system before. It's really cool that it's coming over. Um, I this anniversary edition is like $60. I'm definitely not buying it for that price. And also, I'm not buying it for the fact that it is literally a code in box release. How lame is that? Like you can't even get us a key card. You're giving us a paper in a box. Like that's so lame. I'm not buying it for that reason.
Yeah, there's no excuse. I mean, it is there's a certain game we're about to talk about as well. Oblivion is also a code in box, which fine. Fine. I don't like it.
Boo.
It sucks.
Boo. Not
But
fine.
I mean,
Boo.
it's terrible. But there is a tiny bit more just because it's a more recent game. But
Yeah, but even then, dude, like a key card, the
yeah.
whole point of the key card is for games that can't fit on the 64 gigabytes. Like Oblivion is a ginormous game.
Mhm.
That's a perfect key card game. Fallout could fit. They're choosing not to, but like a key card at the very least, and I get it, right? Like I'm not a fan of key cards either, right? Like I have like two or three, and they're only Square Enix titles. But my thing with Oblivion is it and Fallout. It's like at the very least, if we get a key card, like that's a tangible thing and you can sell it and you technically have like ownership of some element of it, right?
Yes.
Now you have digital codes in box. It's like, what's the point, man? And the irony of this all, and the reason this is so frustrating, is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle from Machine Games is fully on the cart. Like honestly, like
Yeah,
little clap
agreed.
there for Bethesda. That is incredible. I never in a million years was expecting that, but that game is fully on the cart day one, already pre-ordered. I've already pre-ordered my copy. I don't care that it's full priced. I will happily support that because that is an excellent initiative, and it just makes Oblivion and Fallout look so dumb in comparison.
Agreed. I mean, there is even less excuse with Fallout. There's barely one with Oblivion, but Fallout is a 10-year-old game. You can easily get it to compress into a game key cart, if not an actual cartridge. It's not hard. I mean, if the fact they could do it with Indiana Jones, which just came out 2 years ago, it's insane. And I'm so excited to see Indiana Jones at the Great Circle on Switch 2. That game is so much fun. It is so underrated. I wish it got more attention. Um, it was
It
one
got
of my
screwed
favorite. It did. It released
because it
right at the
released in
tip.
December.
Yep. So it didn't get any
Move
award
the Game Awards
recognition.
to January.
They should. They really should. But no, it was so much fun. Troy Baker did an amazing job as Indy, and I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. I'm This is gonna be sacrilege, but I always preferred it to Star Wars. I know, but I I
Uh, that's not crazy. I love
Yeah,
them both, but like for different reasons.
yeah. But it really feels like a lot of the Star Wars games like really get caught up in continuity and all that sort of thing. But this really feels like Indiana Jones 1.5, which is great. Like it feels like a movie in of its own right, and the first person perspective is used great. The puzzles are great. The gameplay is fun. It's a slam dunk. And if you are someone who really likes third party support and really supports physical cartridges, you absolutely need to get the Great Circle. It is a no brainer.
Yeah. No, I'm stoked. I mean, I love your point about this being a game that released not even 2 years ago. I mean, it released in December 2024. It's
Hmm.
coming to Switch 2. The trailer looks incredible. Like, I
Yeah,
could not believe that that was native footage apparently. It looks incredible. I mean, it just is a really good shine. It's a really good sign of what Nintendo Switch 2 is capable of. And I just hope that we continue to see this from third parties. You know, we've got some we'll talk about in a minute, but like all these games are really showcasing what the console can do. And we're in year one. I mean, what are things going to look like in 3 years? I couldn't tell you. But there are no more excuses for, oh, this game can't run on the Switch 2. It can. It's a choice. Absolutely a choice at the end of the day. And Indiana Jones, assuming that it runs at a stable frame rate, I mean, dude, it was looking pretty dang smooth in that trailer.
it
I don't
really
know what
did.
frame rate it's at, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher than 30. I'll say that.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, it opens the door for a lot of other Bethesda games. I don't really trust main Bethesda, especially after the way they behaved with Fallout 4 and Oblivion. But it makes me really excited for when Doom: The Dark Ages eventually makes the jump, and
Inevitable.
inevitable. It's when, not if. And I hope we get some older titles too. I really want to see the Wolfenstein games like get a proper
Mm-hmm.
update on the Switch too. Same with and I would be more than happy with a re-release of Doom 2016 and Eternal. Um, but yeah, I'm it's there's definitely an asterisk to that last part of the showcase. I was happy to see those games get support on Switch too, but the code in the box is just a massive bummer. So I don't know, but I'm at least glad that I have Indiana Jones to look forward to, and I do hope that we get some other Fallout stuff down the line. I really need those rumored Fallout 3 and New Vegas remasters to come to the Switch too. Please, Todd. Please, Todd. I know you
Yeah,
listen to this
at least as long
podcast.
as they're actual cards of some
Yes,
sort.
even a
Like,
direct
the
port,
heck?
even a direct port of New Vegas, I would not be against because this is an entirely separate topic. But I don't know if that game really needs a full remaster to the same extent as Oblivion. All you really need to do is just touch up the visuals and maybe adjust some of the jank. But that is a almost perfect game in of itself. Like you do not need to change a thing about it. But that's a conversation for an entirely different podcast. Um,
Yeah. Let's move on here. We've got
yes.
a lot of games to cover. The next big one, huge one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming to Switch 2. Game looks incredible. I am so excited for this. Remake Intergrade was a dream to play on the system. Very few issues for me personally, and Rebirth looks just as good. I mean, it's portable Final Fantasy VII. We already have that, but dude, it's a ginormous 100 plus hour RPG on the go. What's not like what's the love, man? It's awesome.
Agreed. I've been waiting for an excuse to replay Rebirth, and this is it. I gotta make some storage for it because 100 gigabytes is a lot, but yeah, I'm excited to replay it. It's oh my gosh, it was one of my favorite games of the last few years. Period. I loved it more than remake, and I'm excited to play it again on the handheld. It looks great, and it's the fact that we're getting it so soon after the release of remake. I mean, we kind of expected it to come soonish, but we were thinking late
Hmm.
summer. But June is crazy. I'm so happy with June.
Yeah, I'm very happy with June. It's I know people have been like, "Oh, it's 3 days before Summer Game Fest because Summer Game Fest." Square Enix isn't thinking about that. Yes,
No.
they're scheduling it on Wednesday because of Summer Game Fest. They're not purposely releasing that game that week for Summer Game Fest, right? I'm sure we will see something about Part 3 at Summer Game Fest, but I'd wager we will see something before Summer Game Fest too. Now I've said Summer Game
Yes.
Fest too much. But um, this is a very exciting release for a lot of reasons. I love what they're doing, bundling in these magic cards and the physicals. It's getting them. I mean, the physical on the Square Enix store sold out, completely sold out because of the Zack Fair card. The I know the Intergrade one on Amazon had sold like 10,000 copies in a month in the last month. I mean, it's selling great on the Switch. I love to see that. And I'm really interested to see what people think of Rebirth and kind of just being able to play Queen's Blood on the go and stuff like that. Like it's gonna be awesome, man. I'm so excited, and I'll easily be spending another 100 hours in there.
Yep, totally. Maybe I'll actually be able to 100% complete the game this time, even if I won't get an achievement. Nintendo, please add achievements. Um, but I will say this. If you happen to be confused, whenever it happens, if by certain events in Rebirth confuse you, we have an extra series you should check out called Under the Plate. It's amazing, and Noah's been working hard on it. So you should watch it. Shameless plug. Um, because you're probably gonna
Shameless
need it.
plug.
You're probably gonna need it after Rebirth. But yeah, I'm more than excited for Rebirth, and it's the price is very reasonable. I mean, the fact it's what $50, I think. I'm more than okay with that. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to play it again. That was one of my biggest, most exciting takeaways from the partner showcase.
Yeah, I definitely it was definitely one of my favorites for sure. I was really happy about that. There's another one from Square that we'll get into later. No, actually, let's just get into it right now. A new Paranormasight game. I know that people just kind of scoffed at this. This is actually incredible. Um, I feel like no one played the original. Did you play that?
I didn't even know there was an original. Quite frankly, I thought it was a new
Okay.
IP.
So there's a first game, and I forget the subtitle, but there's a first game that came out a few years ago, like 2023 or something like that. It's so good. It was so good. It
Really?
was one of the most underrated hits of the year. And so to have Square basically announce, hey, it's coming out in 2 weeks, there's a sequel, is crazy. That was probably one of the most exciting announcements for me personally. Like I love that. I'm really excited to see that and kind of play that for myself. But yeah, that was like probably the most surprising announcement of the day, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'll have to look into that trailer again because I was also the one that like kind of threw it aside at first, but the fact that it's such a interesting game franchise to bring back is kind of cool. That Square Enix is taking chances like that. For me, my biggest highlight of the direct, even though it's not new, I really like seeing that new look at Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I mean, that game is looking amazing, and especially on Switch 2. I think that is going to be the way I play it when it comes out. I'm definitely purchasing it on Switch 2 because horror games on the go is a dream come true for me. Despite my issues with Chronos, The New Dawn as a game, I liked the novelty of having it on the go. And yeah, Requiem looks crazy. I love the segments with Grace. I love the segments with Leon. The contrast between the two. We did get a teeny bit of new footage with Leon in a sniper position. Um, I
He had
like
great aim.
he did have great aim. Oh God, we need to talk about that. It's really funny that in order to avoid gore, they had Leon and Grace miss every single shot, which is really funny. They did that with Doom as well, way back in the day, when they were showing. I think it was either Doom 2016 or Eternal, where yeah, the Doom Slayer has really bad aim. Sadly, um, it's just really funny. It's not like a big deal to me. I see some people complaining about it. It's not a huge issue. It's just really funny to me. Um, but yeah, I like how much of that game they're keeping under their chest. We still have not seen any of Raccoon City, and that's great. I'm more than okay with that. I hope they keep it a secret until the game comes out and after. And I'm starting to see some people complaining like, "Oh, we're seeing too much of RE9. It's called marketing. I don't know what you guys want."
Yeah, it's. I will say though, I agree with you. It does feel like that Capcom has only showed us like the first chapter of the game. Like I
Agreed.
don't feel like we've seen anything past the first 2 hours.
Yeah, they're only showing that same set piece in the doctor's office. That's it. That's all they've shown. Is just the beginning, and that's it, which is great because we know there's more.
Agreed.
What do you think
And
of the amiibo? Sorry to change the subject, but what do you think
oh,
of the Resident Evil 9 amiibo?
I mean, I think they're cool. I think the Pragmata one, not to jump ahead, but that one looks like crap.
The Leon one looks a bit goofy, but I like the novelty
Yeah,
of
I
it.
mean, amiibos are lower quality to keep the production costs, but I mean, they're now like 25 bucks or whatever they are. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't actually think I only own two amiibo or three
same.
amiibo. I
I
have the
only own two.
Sephiroth one and I have Pyre and Mithra, and that's it. So I don't have any more beyond that. I definitely think that they're all right. It is interesting that Capcom is really pushing amiibo though, with like every single release that they put out so far.
Yeah, it is interesting, huh? Because with Monster Hunter Stories, which we'll talk about too, and Pragmata, they're really pushing amiibo. I will say the features of the Leon and Grace amiibo are kind of underwhelming. Weapon skins. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but something a bit more than that, maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm glad that they're not locking any features, but yeah, I don't really know. I kind of wish maybe some exclusive costumes would have been cool. It would have made people mad, but it would have been cool. Um, yeah, I don't know, but I am excited to see that game. It looks great on Switch 2, and I think it'll run pretty well from a lot of early reports that we're hearing. So that's, I think, probably one of my more anticipated games on the console right now.
RE9?
RE9, yeah.
For sure, dude. I'm really excited to play. So, Resident Evil games are big graphical showcase games every time a new one comes out. So for me, that's a play it on the OLED TV with the PS5 for the first like three playthroughs and the
Hmm.
span of like a couple days, of course. And then I'll be hopping to Switch 2 immediately after because I'm gonna be trying out RE7 and 8 for sure. I'm really excited to see how those run on the system. And then I mean, dude, RE9 is running at 60 FPS at a undocked, just running at performance. I mean, I'm curious to see how stable that ends up being because the game looks pretty dang good. The big concession with RE Engine and with a lot of Switch games seems to be hair. And
Yes.
if I'm like, okay, the hair looks a little different, but I'm getting the full one-to-one experience on a portable system, I mean, I can't complain at all. That's amazing, dude. And I love the idea of being able to play RE9 like wherever and having the same experience I would basically like as on my TV. And Resident Evil games are made for speed running and just running through and picking up and playing. And I feel like it's going to fit the system so well. But yeah, I'm super excited. Definitely one of my most anticipated games of the year for sure. And beyond that, another most anticipated game for me is Pragmata. And I played this at Summer Game Fest last year. Just so fun. That demo is now out now. It's the one I played, but it's a really good time. I actually tried out the demo on the Switch. The image is a little soft, maybe a little
Yeah.
softer than I was expecting, but it runs really well. Like I felt like that the frame rate for the most part held up. It definitely is a little soft, but I think it's super playable. Like you shouldn't have an issue going in there and experiencing Pragmata on the system.
Agreed. I also played the demo for myself. This was my first time playing the demo, and I played it on Switch too, and I loved it. I thought it was so much fun, um, and the different gameplay mechanics are really cool and interesting. The chemistry between our two main characters is great, and I'm excited. I'm excited for that game. And yeah, I do agree that there was some image quality issues, but personally, I got so wrapped up in the feeling of the gameplay that I didn't really notice or care about those issues. I was just kind of it ran really smoothly, and that was really enough for me. Even if like the hair and some of the quality of like the textures looked kind of off, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm you know, I think it'll be a surprise hit this year for sure from Capcom. And I like to see Capcom trying new things. Obviously, they are really devoted to Resident Evil and Monster Hunter and Street Fighter, but them branching out with new IPs and bringing back older ones like Mega Man that may not seem on paper as like a big thing to bring back is cool. I mean, we're getting Okami and Onimusha soon as well, which is crazy.
I know, dude. It's all coming in the next few years. It's really exciting. Capcom's just Cap God era since
Yep.
2017 really has been
And
just
thank
amazing to
goodness.
watch. Yeah, for real. It's the world is a better place when Capcom is releasing good games. So yeah, I'm really excited for Pragmata. I'm glad to hear you like the demo. I think it's just so fun, so unique. Never really played anything like it, and I like that. Monster Hunter Stories 3 also looks incredible. I've been seeing a lot of people throwing some shade against Pokemon on Twitter
Ha! I
about
have seen that
stylized
too.
graphics. But I mean, I think the game looks gorgeous. And I actually have not played, I played like a couple hours of the first Monster Hunter Stories game on 3DS, and that was it. But I'm really interested in this third one. So I'm excited to kind of see how, people who are knowledgeable about the first two think about it, what their thoughts are, and kind of just seeing some reviews for myself. But I'm really excited for that game as well. It does look really good. And I mean, gosh, what a just first quarter, first 4 months that Capcom has. I mean, you've got Resident Evil 9 this month. Next month is Monster Hunter Stories. Then you turned around with Pragmata. I mean, that's a busy, busy first half of the year.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, they're really killing it with Capcom and Nintendo are really killing it with these third party games. I mean, as you said, like Monster Hunter Stories looks great. I was never a huge fan of those. I never really got into those games, but it looks fun, and I mean that's all I could really ask for. And maybe I'll give it a shot. I might try the demo at some point, but yeah, I'm excited. I think um, Capcom's doing great, as you said. If when Capcom is doing well, I think we all do well. There was a real dark period with Street Fighter V, DMC Devil May Cry. Um, the Nothing Mega Man games. Really, I think people underestimate the impact of Monster Hunter World and how much that saved Capcom. But yeah, I mean, I think Capcom's in a good spot right now, and I like how much they're supporting Nintendo. But what's the next game we want to talk about? Because there's a lot. There's a lot of weird games shown off during this direct. Some are
Let's do the
bizarre.
weird. Let's do Tokyo Scramble. This looks
What?
like a indie game from a Japanese developer, and it's like you're avoiding dinosaurs. It's very weird and interesting. It's got me interested.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. I've seen some people saying it looks like an Xbox Live Arcade game, which, ouch. Um, I don't know about that, but I will admit, I did get a little bit of a visceral reaction when I saw an anime styled game with dinosaurs. I played Code Violet not that long ago, and it broke me a bit. So seeing that Tokyo Scramble on screen, there was a brief moment where I'm like, are they porting Code Violet to the Nintendo Switch too? Thank God they're not. That's not a good game. Please don't play it. But Tokyo Scramble looks at least better than Code Violet, which is a win. But yeah, it's so bizarre. There were a lot of strange games that I never would have expected. I mean, they kicked off the direct with Orbitals, which is not a game I would have expected to kick off, but it looks great. I mean, it's different, but I like this. I love the style of it. I love that 90s anime look.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it, and I'm definitely interested to kind of see what's going on there, and kind of seeing how people react to it. But yeah, I mean, there were a lot of really interesting games. How'd you feel about what we saw from The Adventures of Elliot?
I don't know. I'm not hooked by that game yet. Maybe that's just
So
me.
are you a, let me ask, like, are you an HD2D fan?
I am a passive fan. I
Okay.
like it from a distance.
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest, it sounds like HD2D Chrono Trigger, like you're going through different eras. I'm all for that. I'm very interested in seeing how that game turns out. I like that it's action based, but I'm definitely waiting for Square to show a little more of the story. I mean, we've seen some, but I want a real meaty trailer to maybe showcase a little more story and some more gameplay stuff. We had that demo, sure, but I'd like a little bit more. But that's coming out in June again from Square Enix, just unloading everything on the Switch. It's crazy. But there's that. Also, the I'm gonna leave what I want to say out, but Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn edition is coming to Switch too. Um, Good for the Tales of Arise fans.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's good for them too, I think.
I mean, I look, guys. I'm not a fan of that game. I'm interested. I'm glad that it's coming to the system. That's a good thing for more games. It's definitely a choice to have gameplay running at 30 FPS and cutscenes at 60, but it is what it is. I will say a game that I was quite interested in is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too. I mean, I'm glad to see it, but I'm not a huge Grand Blue guy. But seeing it on the Switch 2 being supported like this is pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, I forget. Saras is like into. Grand Blue definitely falls in my mind into more of the anime side of things. Saras is familiar but not deeply invested, and that's okay. Uh, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So that released in January, I think January 31st, 2024.
Is
It
it 24 or
came.
25?
It was 24.
Okay.
So it came out. It was good. And I gave it a 7, I remember, because I just felt like it was lacking a few things. The story was enjoyable, but like I just was wanting more. And it kind of just got left. And there was nothing there. And finally, we got to the point where we get to the point in this direct, and they're like, hey, we're doing a $30 expansion, full new game for it, basically. New story, a bunch of stuff that's being teased, 2 new characters. It looks awesome. I'm actually really excited because that's a good game, and I'm really interested to see if it gets an audience on the Switch too, because I had a lot of fun with it on PS5, and it's very fascinating to me that Cygames just kind of left it for dead until they just were like, hey, guess what? New expansion, here it comes. It's coming in July. It's kind of crazy, and it's coming to Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC, I believe.
Yeah, it's always a good thing to see a game like that get more support. I mean, more support for JRPGs is never a bad thing. But yeah, I'm curious to see how people enjoy it. Maybe this will be the thing that finally gets me into it. I don't know. But the other surprise thing that we saw that I think a lot of people downplayed, but it was cool to see the arcade archives and the newly announced console archives. Console archives in particular, I think that's a really cool initiative, and I hope we get more from it. I did see a lot of people making fun of the fact like, oh man, we're opening the door of console archives, and then they immediately show this ancient Doraemon game, which I don't know if is the best showcase of the potential of this program. I think the Cool Bombers and Ninja Gaiden stuff was way more interesting. But yeah, I'm curious to see what your thoughts on that, because a lot of people are touting it up as the second coming of the Virtual Console, which, hey, if
I think
that's
it's
what
a
it ends
pretty
up
big
being,
deal.
yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of it's going to boil down to what rights they can get, but it's kind of fascinating when you think about it. We could get crazy niche games that have never been able to be re-released with this console archive series. I mean, one that comes to mind that people are always asking about that I would kill for is like Xenogears, right? We
oh
could
my
get
gosh.
Xenogears somehow with this console archives thing, and there's so many other games that we could get as a result of this service. It's actually really exciting, and I definitely encourage, I believe it's Hamster that does these. I
Yes,
really encourage people to look into Hamster and what they've done with Arcade Archives, because it's a really great initiative, and they really deserve more credit than they get for what they've done for game preservation.
for sure. There's a lot of really obscure PS1 games I would like to see in the modern day. I don't know why Mr. Domino of all things popped into my head, but yeah, there's a lot of weird PS1 games that could see the light of day, which is great. I mean, more PS1's support and like getting games from that era of gaming, which never really see the light of day because of Sony and their weird attitude towards relaunching old games. But yeah, I think that was a surprising, underrated announcement. And there are obviously like a lot of smaller games we saw, in the sizzle reels, of course. Scott Pilgrim EX is going to be fantastic. Reanimal, I'm really excited for Reanimal. I wasn't a huge Little Nightmares fan. Um, that was never a series that grabbed me, but everything I've seen of Reanimal looks terrifying in all the right ways.
It looks
And
good, yeah.
yeah, even the sports games, I mean, I'm not a huge sports guy, but I'm kind of excited for WWE 2K26. That looks fun, at least.
PGA
Um,
Tour.
PGA Tour, woohoo! I have a dad that will be really interested in that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I will say also with sizzle reel stuff, thinking Super Bomberman Collection was great to see. Really,
yes,
really like that. Konami did show up like we thought, just not in the way that we thought they would.
you're not excited for eFootball kickoff?
No.
Oh,
No. I
bummer.
am excited though. Not Konami related, but another game that was kind of briefly looked over for Another Eden Begins. I know a lot of people just kind of don't even realize that this is coming to Switch. So this is like I think it's basically, from my understanding, an enhanced version of the mobile game with new features and new stuff. But this is from one of the legendary developers for, some of the best RPGs in the 90s, like Xenogears, right? So we have a really, really cool RPG that was on mobile that's coming over. It kind of reminds me of Fantasian, in terms of like that kind of jump from mobile to console. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to kind of see how things shake out with that. But yeah, that one's coming in summer, I believe. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Definitely will be playing that. And I just a really overall solid showcase. I really do think this was a solid showcase, regardless of it maybe lacking that oh my god reveal that no one knew. I still think that this is a really strong commitment from third parties to showcase that Switch 2 owners are going to be eating. They're going to be eating well.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, there weren't really any games during the showcase where I kind of rolled my eyes at, like, oh gosh, why are we showing this? I mean, I don't know. I don't even think there were anywhere. I mean, Goat Simulator 3, we did not need to see. I'm not a Goat Simulator guy. I'm sorry. Yeah, the eFootball kickoff. Hollow Knight Nintendo Switch 2 edition seems kind of nothing to me. I don't really see many upgrades in that, but that's just me. Maybe people who've played it for themselves could have a different opinion. But yeah, I think it was still good, and I think there were I wonder because we still got a great amount of third party games, but a lot of these were games we kind of expected or knew about. However, there is the possibility that we could see more third party stuff and first party stuff later, sooner than we think. So let's talk about the possibility of a third Nintendo Direct in February. Now we know we have the partner showcase, so that's number one. Our second would obviously potentially be a Pokemon Presents somewhere in the next week or so. And a third could be a new Nintendo meaty Nintendo Direct featuring both first party and third party games. What do we think of that?
I think it's going to happen, but I think that the second direct, the big direct, is going to be in early March. That's my prediction.
Agreed.
So I do think that we are going to get a meaty direct in the near next coming weeks. I would say the near future. I don't think it's going to be in February. I think that there's a lot going on. I don't think that Nintendo has any desire to roll out a direct right now. But I do think that come early March, as the anticipation builds for, after Pokepokia's, I always say it wrong, Pokopia, after Pokopia's out, and you have just, Mario Bros. And Tomodachi Life dated, I think that's when you come in with the direct and you date Yoshi, you date Fire Emblem, you reveal, dates for Splatoon, you reveal a couple new games and really set the stage for the rest of the year. And then you can come in June and reveal out the next slate and really build up towards the fall, where we'll get that direct that kind of overviews the early part of next year.
Yeah, I completely agree. As much as I would love a third meaty Nintendo Direct, I think it's more likely for them to clear the stage for the Pokemon Presents, which will probably happen soon. I mean, that could also be late February as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I would bet that's the 27th. I
yeah,
would bet it's the 26th or the 27th. It's going to be that last week of February.
and that's gonna be big. That's gonna be a big showcase because we're gonna get maybe some new stuff for Legend Z to A, but obviously the main brunt of it is going to be what I can only expect is a new generation for Pokemon to celebrate the anniversary. And that's big. You do not even need another Nintendo Direct because Pokemon fans will show up, and I hope Game Freak really puts attention into it. I'll admit it's a bit alarming that they spent more money on a Super Bowl ad than they did on the budget for Legend Z to A. But yeah, I hope it's good. We're kind of the same in that we're not huge Pokemon guys, which I know is blasphemous to say on a Nintendo podcast, but Yeah, I really hope Gen 10 is the one that really clicks with me because I haven't really clicked with a Pokemon generation since I think Gen 5. Not to say I haven't liked the others, but I was never really attracted to, you know, Gen 6, and I didn't really click with Kalos, Alola, the Galar region, and I forgot the name of the most recent one, Paldea region. Yeah, those were not really for me. I didn't really care for a lot of the new starters and things like that, or the visual style. So hopefully this is the one for me. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are potentially going into a Pokemon Presents.
I mean, here's the thing. I think Gen 10 is going to be really well received. The Pokemon Company is well aware of the reputation, I think, of the games right now with the graphics. And I think Game Freak has really been pushing to have this be a standout generation. We've seen the leaks 2 years before release in 2024, and the visuals there looked fantastic compared to what we saw 2 years before Sword and Shield. So I have some faith that we are going to get a really strong visual game from Game Freak this year for Gen 10. My biggest thing is like I need to see something beyond visuals, right? You can make a
Yes.
game great. Pokemon looks like a modern game, amazing. It has good art style, great. I want to see a game that has, okay, we've actually redesigned and built an actual proper story. We've actually have voice acting, right? Stuff that's actually going to make this a game that's not, okay, go catch a bunch of critters and go fight against people and become number one. It's like we've seen this story 100 times. I want to see something different. I want to see a different kind of story with voice acting and try to take the series in a new direction. And this is the best generation to do so. So I'm really interested to kind of see what Game Freak has to offer. We know the visuals are going to be much better, and we're not going to see Sword and Shield trees on our timelines for the next 6 months. So I'm looking forward to that. But there is definitely some curiosity on my end of kind of what things are going to look like for sure.
Agreed. I also want to see some new directions taken with the gameplay as well. Legend Z to A was a good start, but I want them to keep pushing the boat on that. Um, because I think Pokemon gameplay is a mixed bag. There's a lot where it's really fun, but there's a lot where you feel kind of passive. Like, yes, you can move around as a, you know, um, as a trainer around like the different characters. That's cool in Legends Z to A. But I want a little bit more. I'm not saying where you can directly control the the Pokemon as well as the trainer. That would be really cool, I think. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I want something. I want some extra sauce on the gameplay. Hopefully they do. Hopefully we get a cool new gimmick because every Pokemon generation has to have a gimmick, which is fine. Hopefully it's a cool one because I don't think we've gotten a really exciting one since Mega Evolution. Um, but yeah, I'm hopeful for that. But I think that will be the big next Nintendo announcement that we get this month.
Agreed.
Um, I think maybe we'll probably get some stuff like we have a PlayStation State of Play coming out this week, and some of the stuff that gets announced there might also get a trailer on the Nintendo YouTube channel. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think first week of March sounds about right. It's almost 8 years, no, 9 years since the release of the original Nintendo Switch. We're almost a year into the Switch 2's console life cycle. It's a good place to really start getting more ambitious with the upcoming first party games in particular. And I'm glad that they did the partner showcase because they don't have to reveal, they don't have to use that time on Fallout 4 or Oblivion, which if you guys thought seeing Todd Howard at the end of a 30-minute partner showcase was bad, believe me, it could be worse. You could be seeing him 45 minutes into a basic, like a proper Nintendo Direct when you're hoping to see a new 3D Mario.
Yep, agreed. And I think that at the end of the day, there still are plenty of third party games that are waiting to be revealed, and those will be held for the big direct. I think these like holy crap moments are probably going to be there.
Yep.
But that's a good problem to have if you're a Nintendo fan, that there are so many games we have to have multiple presentations for Nintendo to showcase everything that we have coming up. I think that's a good problem to have. And I'm definitely interested. I completely agree. State of Play should have some stuff coming to Switch 2 as well. We'll probably see some announcements on social media and on YouTube, etc. But it's an exciting time to be a Nintendo fan. I think that we are in a really good place right now. It is kind of disappointing that we don't know anything beyond April, but at the same time, we do know what's coming out in March, right? We do know what's coming out in April, but I'm definitely looking on beyond the horizon, and I think you are likely as well. And we've
Oh
definitely
yeah.
got some predictions. We had our predictions episode for the year. We've definitely got some stuff we can talk about moving forward of, you know, what's going to be next for Nintendo now that this is out of the way. But yeah, guys, it's been a pretty fun week. Maybe Nintendo will decide to randomly drop an update for Kirby Air Riders or something like that again, but there's no telling. But yeah, I will say, before we go, we also have Mario Tennis Fever coming out this week.
We do, yes. And we will be talking a lot about that when it comes out. But kind of our last notes when it comes to Mario Tennis Fever, I'm excited. The opening cinematic released today looks great. Really funny seeing Mario and Bowser work together. It's kind of wholesome, actually. Um, but yeah, I like the mechanics they're showing off. I like the roster. I hope the story mode's really good. Um, Looks fun. I don't think we've had a good Nintendo Mario sports game since Mario Tennis Aces. Actually, now that I think about it,
Nope.
I hope it spells a good beginning for Mario sports games because man, those last two were a bummer. I wanted Strikers Battle League to be so good, and it so wasn't.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that. Golf Super Rush sucked. I'm really hoping that Tennis Fever is a return to form of good Mario sports games. Again, I think my biggest thing is I'm so curious what this adventure mode is going to look like, in terms of length and content and how it's going to differ from Mario Tennis Aces. But if it's anywhere near Mario Tennis Aces, I think we're definitely in for a good time.
Agreed. And we can talk about this another time, but I hope we get a lot more creative Mario sports games in the future. We brought back Strikers, didn't go well, sadly, but I hope we get Sluggers. I really hope we get Sluggers back someday. I hope that's the next one.
It's
Whenever
got to
that
happen.
happens. And these kind of games, yeah, I think so. And it would be a great showcase for the Switch too. You get to bring back some, do some new design stuff with Donkey Kong and bring in characters that were never in the original.
Me
I think
too.
it'd be great.
And, maybe next week we'll just kind of have a Mario Sports retrospective of the last 10 years of Mario Sports or something. But we'll have plenty to talk
Yes.
about Mario Tennis Fever in the future. But that's going to do it for this episode of Switch Point, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And be sure to stay tuned for more episodes in the future here on Spotify, Apple Music, or on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.